In the rolling hills and plains of Japan, a breed of cattle is raised that is a living symbol of nobility, tradition, and culinary perfection. It is Wagyu cattle, a word that, with elegant simplicity, means Japanese cow. But don't be fooled by its modest definition. Behind it lies a centuries-old history, a legend forged with patience, and a meat that has transcended its origins to become the most coveted gastronomic treasure on the planet. Its texture is so incredible that it literally melts in your mouth. Its flavor is an experience that redefines the concept of luxury. And its price? Well, it can reach astronomical figures, with cows selling for up to $30,000. But how did the dedication of generations of breeders transform a farm animal used to plow rice fields into this culinary legend? What is the secret hidden in its genetics and in the almost sacred ritual of its breeding? Join us as we discover the history, art, and science behind the world's most legendary meat. To understand the almost mythical status of Wagyu, we have to travel back in time to a feudal Japan isolated from the rest of the world. For more than 200 years, the country lived in almost total isolation. In this environment, local cattle, which had arrived on the Japanese islands around the 2nd century AD, developed unique characteristics. However, these cattle were not raised for food. Religious customs, such as Buddhism, strongly restricted the consumption of four-legged animals. Cattle were, above all, an indispensable labor force. Their power was essential for plowing the rice terraces that climbed the mountains, and their bodies evolved to withstand long and arduous days. Ironically, that life of hard work planted the seed of their future greatness. Breeding focused on animals with greater endurance, which favored the development of a unique trait, a greater amount of fat within the muscle. This finely distributed fat provided a slow-release source of energy, perfect for sustained work. It was the beginning of the famous marbling, although at the time, no one saw it through gastronomic eyes. The turning point came in 1868, with the Meiji Restoration. This period marked the end of Japan's isolation and the beginning of rapid modernization. The old prohibitions on meat consumption were lifted, and the Japanese palate began to open up to new experiences. It was then that Japanese breeders saw their cattle with new eyes. The animal that had been a farming companion now had the potential to be a source of food of unprecedented quality. At the end of the 19th century, some European breeds were selectively introduced to improve the size of local cattle. However, this crossbreeding was brief and highly controlled. Breeders realized that the key was not to dilute local genetics, but to refine them. In the mid-20th century, the Japanese government formally recognized 4 breeds as authentic Wagyu, protecting their lineage and laying the foundation for the beef empire we know today. What was once a workhorse had been transformed, thanks to history and vision, into a culinary work of art. The journey of Wagyu, from pasture to plate, is an odyssey of meticulous care that borders on the spiritual. It is not simply about raising cattle, it is a philosophy, an art passed down through generations that seeks perfect harmony between the animal and its environment. The secret to Wagyu's unmatched flavor begins with its genetics. 4 main breeds dominate the landscape: Japanese Black, Japanese Brown, Shorthorn, and Polled. Of these, Japanese Black is the undisputed queen, accounting for over 90% of all Wagyu cattle in Japan. This breed has a superior genetic predisposition to produce that intense and delicate marbling, the most valuable characteristic of Wagyu. Within this breed, there are even more revered bloodlines, such as the Tajima lineage, native to Hyogo Prefecture, which is the only one that can produce the legendary Kobe beef. From birth, the life of a Wagyu calf is documented with astonishing precision. Each animal receives a birth certificate and a unique 10-digit identification number that accompanies it for life. Its lineage is recorded in a national system, allowing its genealogy to be traced back for generations. Even a fingerprint of its nose is taken as a form of infallible biometric identification, ensuring the purity and authenticity of the Wagyu. After spending about 8 to 10 months on a breeding farm, the calves are sold at auction to feedlot farmers. And this is where the real magic begins. These farmers, who often have decades of experience specializing in Wagyu, do not see the animals as mere commodities, but as individuals who deserve the utmost respect. The cornerstone of this care is a completely stress-free environment. It has been scientifically proven that stress produces cortisol, a hormone that hardens muscles and degrades meat quality. That's why Wagyu farmers do everything they can to create a sanctuary of tranquility. The stables are spacious and clean, noise is kept to a minimum, and the animals have constant access to fresh, pure water. And this is where the legends come in. Do they really massage them and play classical music? The answer is more practical than it seems. Some farmers do massage their animals to relieve muscle tension, especially in winter when they move less. Music, on the other hand, is sometimes used to mask sudden noises and maintain a calm environment. And what about the famous beer? This was an occasional old-school practice to stimulate the animal's appetite during hot, humid summers. Today, these practices are the exception, but they all point to the same principle. A happy, relaxed animal produces superior quality meat. A Wagyu's diet is as carefully designed as that of an elite athlete. They are not fed only grass, but a special formula that includes high-quality forage, such as rice straw, and is supplemented with a rich mixture of grains, such as corn, barley, and soybeans. The goal of this high-energy diet is not only to fatten the animal, but to encourage the development of that marbling. The process is slow and patient, lasting up to 3 years, much longer than conventional cattle. It is this time, this dedication, and this almost paternal care that allows the fat to slowly infiltrate the muscle fibers, creating that texture and flavor that is impossible to replicate. In the world of Wagyu, not all beef is created equal. The quest for perfection led to the creation of one of the most rigorous grading systems on the planet, administered by the Japan Meat Grading Association, JMGA. This system is the reason we see codes like a 5 on the most expensive cuts, and understanding it is key to deciphering the value of this meat. Wagyu grading consists of 2 parts, a letter and a number, resulting in 15 possible combinations, from C1 to the top, A5. The letter A, B, or C refers to the yield grade. This is an indicator of how much edible meat can be obtained from the carcass. A indicates superior yield, more than 72%, B is standard, and C is inferior. For producers, achieving an A grade is crucial as it maximizes the value of each animal. The number from 1 to 5 is the true measure of quality, the factor that most impacts flavor and price. This score is based on 4 criteria, and interestingly, the final score is always the lowest of the 4. That is, to be a grade 5, the meat must be perfect in all categories. The first and most important criterion is marbling, or sashi. It is evaluated using the Beef Marbling Standard, BMS, a 12-point scale. A BMS of 1 is very lean meat. A BMS of 3 to 4 gets a rating of 3. A BMS of 5 to 7 qualifies as a 4. To achieve the coveted grade 5, the meat must have a BMS of 8 to 12. A BMS 12 is the holy grail, an incredibly dense and fine network of fat. The second criterion is the color of the meat, Beef Color Standard. The ideal is a bright, vivid cherry red. A color that is too pale or too dark degrades the grade. The third criterion is firmness and texture. The meat should feel firm and have a very fine grain, which translates into tenderness when cooked. Finally, the fourth criterion is the color and quality of the fat, Beef Fat Standard. Unlike the yellowish fat of grass-fed cattle, the fat of high-quality Wagyu should be bright white and lustrous. Achieving an A5 grade is quite a feat. It represents the perfect alignment of genetics, impeccable breeding, and a final result that meets the highest standards. A 5 beef with a BMS 12 is the crown jewel, the ultimate expression of the Wagyu philosophy. Holding a cut of raw A5 Wagyu is like contemplating a work of art. The meat has a vibrant red color, but it is so marbled with fine lines of fat that the overall appearance is a pale pink, almost like precious marble. There are no large chunks of fat, but rather a delicate network that promises a unique sensory experience. Cooking Wagyu. A5 is a ritual that demands simplicity. Forget complex marinades or lots of spices. The meat is the star of the show and only needs a pinch of good quality salt. The key is heat and time. Due to its high fat content, Wagyu cooks much faster than a normal steak. The fat has an incredibly low melting point. In the highest quality cuts, it can start to melt between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius, almost at human body temperature. When you place the steak in a hot pan, the sound is a soft sizzle. Immediately, that marbled fat begins to melt, bathing the meat from the inside out. The aroma that fills the air is rich, sweet, and slightly nutty. It only takes a few minutes on each side to create a golden crust, while the inside remains juicy and tender. The first bite is a revelation. The phrase "melts in your mouth" is not an exaggeration. It is reality. The meat requires hardly any chewing. Its texture is so soft and buttery that it melts on the palate. What follows is an explosion of flavor. It's not the iron taste of a lean steak, but a complex symphony of rich, meaty notes, a delicate sweetness, and a lingering wave of umami. Within the Wagyu universe, there are three designations of origin that are considered the Big Three. Kobe beef. Probably the most famous in the world, it comes exclusively from Tajima cattle in Hyogo Prefecture and must meet incredibly strict criteria. It is known for its refined flavor. Matsusaka beef. It comes from Mie Prefecture and is famous for using only virgin heifers, which are believed to have even softer fat. It is legendary for its texture that melts in the mouth. Omi beef. Considered the oldest Wagyu brand in Japan, with over 400 years of history. It comes from Shiga Prefecture and is prized for its viscous fat and unique aroma. Enjoying a cut of A5 Wagyu is not just a meal. It is an immersive experience. It is the climax of a story that began centuries ago, a tribute to the artistry of the breeders, and a lesson in how patience can transform an ingredient into a legend. The question everyone asks is, why is it so expensive? An A5 Wagyu sandwich can cost over $85, and the price per pound can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The price is not a marketing gimmick. It is the direct result of a series of factors that make it a product of extreme rarity and quality. First, the genetics. Authentic Japanese Wagyu comes from only 4 breeds with pure bloodlines that have been documented for centuries. That exclusivity is the basis of everything. Second, the breeding process is incredibly long and expensive. The animals live up to 3 years, twice or 3 times as long as commercial cattle, and are fed a specialized and expensive diet in low-stress environments. The work of cattle ranchers is a full-time vocation. Third, the scale of production is very small. Wagyu farms in Japan are typically family businesses that raise few animals at a time, ensuring individual care but limiting supply. Fourth, the grading system is so strict that only a small percentage of production, rated A5, is by definition scarce. Finally, there is export. For decades, Wagyu was a national treasure, and its export was prohibited. Although the ban was gradually lifted in the early 2000s and expanded in 2013, the process remains highly controlled, and only a fraction of total production leaves Japan. This scarcity in the global market naturally increases its value. This exclusivity has led to the emergence of Wagyu from other countries, such as Australia and the United States. It is important to understand the difference. American Wagyu, for example, is usually the result of crossing a purebred Japanese Wagyu with a local breed such as Angus. The result is excellent quality meat, but it generally does not achieve the marbling density or flavor profile of pure Japanese Wagyu. In addition, regulations are less strict. For example, in the US, the use of growth hormones is permitted, something unthinkable in Japan. The price of Wagyu, therefore, is an honest reflection of its history. It is the cost of perfection, the price of centuries of tradition, and an unwavering commitment to quality that defies the logic of mass production. From the rice fields of feudal Japan to the most exclusive kitchens in the world, the history of Wagyu is an extraordinary journey. It is proof that dedication, patience, and a deep respect for nature can elevate a product to legendary status. It is not just meat, it is the history of a nation, the art of generations of breeders, and an experience that touches the limits of perfection. A national treasure of Japan that fortunately the world now has the privilege of knowing. But now it's your turn. Have you had the opportunity to try this incredible meat? Do you think its price is justified by the history and care behind it? Leave us your opinion in the comments.